Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how you would go about getting into your Google Slides and being able to get into the assignment for where you're going to be doing a quick slideshow about your favorite something. And really the goal of that slideshow is to make sure you can still go in and edit, make changes to an existing Google Slides, and also to make sure that you can insert photos and that you can put captions in photos. So we're going to start off by jumping right into Google Classroom and then pick whichever your class is. And remember the classwork tab where you can get, where it says classwork. And then, if you have to, you might have to scroll, but you look for technology. This particular assignment is called Inserting Photos and Captions in Google Slides. So when you click on it, you see the instructions that we've already gone over. You see the helpful video if you were to get stuck on doing some basics with Google Slides. And of course, you have the instructions, that Google Doc that says second grade, my favorite Google Slides photo practice. And then if you needed to go back for some review on just Google Apps for Education in general, there is that PDF file, that 2RHTA second grade Google Apps review.pdf you can open up. But assuming that you're good on everything, then I'm going to move on how to do some of the basics with this assignment. So that gray arrow pointing up where it says your work, I click on that. And then here is where I'll see my template. So it's your copy of the template of what I've given you, okay? And you're going to see what I mean in a minute. But remember, do not hit that X, because if you hit that X, that your copy will be gone and it'll be slightly difficult to get you another one. And I'm just suggesting don't hit that X. So we're gonna go ahead and click on the Google Slides icon. And remember, we can't just start typing here, because if you do, you're going to be experiencing a situation where you can't make any changes. So you remember, in the upper right corner, there's that box with the arrow pointing to the upper right. So I'm going to click that. That launches Google Slides. And when it loads up finally, then you'll see the very first page. Okay. And here we are at the template, your copy of the template for the My Favorite Google Slides project. So just some things of review. If I want to go ahead and fill in the blank, so if I'm going to say something like my favorite animal, then I want to double tap where that big line is after my favorite, okay? And when I do that, it brings me to the end of the line where I can hit delete. Now, one thing to note, if you notice, there's the blue box around my favorite. Every once in a while, if you see the box like, small, like this, it might make it hard for you to select. So you want to make sure that you grab one of those middle blue squares, click on it and drag it up to make it so the blue box is above, the blue box surrounds the text that you're trying to edit. So now I'll just go ahead and delete that and say animals, my favorite animals. So this is what my project's going to be. Don't forget my space there. And then, of course, it says in directions, replace Peter Parker with your name and delete this highlighted area. So first, I want to say what this slideshow is going to be about. And my favorite animal is going to be dogs or puppies. So I'll just put dogs. And then I'm going to double click by Peter Parker and put, well, I'll just say another student name, fake student name, John Smith here. Okay. And then remember what it said just a second ago. By the way, I moved something by accident. If you look at the top of your screen, there's like this curvy arrow pointing to the left. That's the undo button. So I'm going to tap that once and it'll put it back and I can hit redo. If I undid too much, I can hit redo. So when I deleted my last name just a second ago like that, I thought, oh, I didn't want to delete that too. So I could hit the redo button and it brings it back. At any rate, if I want this keyboard to go away, by the way, remember, if I click on any part of the white background of the slide, it goes away so I could see it. Because I want to be able to read what it says again. Replace Peter Parker with your name, which I did, and delete this highlighted area. Okay, so now I need to delete that highlighted area. So I'm going to double tap at the end there. And I'm going to start deleting that. Okay, so again, I'm going to tap on the white background. Looks pretty good to me, so I am ready to go to the next slide. So I'm going to say now that my favorite dog is the lab, okay? So again, double tap, and there's the example I'm talking about where that box is slightly smaller than a text. So I'm just going to take that bottom square that's in the middle, drag it down to make sure I'm around that. So I'm going to do that. So my favorite dog is the lab. Okay. Now, the instructions now say in parentheses there, replace this photo and put a title of your photo here, and you can delete these words between the parentheses. Okay. So I'm just going to do that real quick. I'm going to take that photo. First off, I'm going to cut it out. Okay. So I just tapped it. I hit cut. Now it's gone. So now I need to get a photo of the lab. Well, this is where you could double tap the home button. And then at the bottom, if you don't already have a Chrome browser open, I do, but I'm going to pretend I don't. At the bottom there, you can just hit that Google Chrome icon. That's the one just to the right of the Google Classroom icon, the circle with the green, yellow, and red, and the blue circle in the middle. Click on that. It brings me to a Google window. So if I say something like Labrador puppies, okay, and hit go, I'll see a whole bunch of articles and pictures of Labrador Retriever. But if I want just the pictures, just the images, if you look just under where I searched Labrador puppy, there's all that's underlined, and that's what it's returned, all. And then there's images. So I'm going to select images right now. And here I have all of these pictures ready to go about Labrador puppies. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to have to do is click on one of the pictures. Okay, I'll pick the one with his tongue hanging out here. And now I have sort of the full-size picture that the Google Images search brought back. Now, this is a very important part because if you're not patient, you may not be able to copy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my finger, I'm going to tap and hold somewhere on the picture. I'm going to count to 1,000, and then when I let go, there should be an option to copy the image. So I'm going to tap 1,000, and then it says copy image. So now it's in the memory, it's in the brain of your iPad now. So I can double tap, or double click, I should say, the home button again, and go back to my slides. Now, this is the other part where it's tricky sometimes. You would think you could just click on the white screen and let go and see paste. For whatever reason, that doesn't always happen. Maybe it's because I need to be outside of this blue box. Let me try that. And now it says drag to select shapes. So what I found is if I click on outside of the slide in the like gray area above or below, I'm going to do below here. I tend to choose the lower left corner, not all the way where, the slides are numbered 1 through 8, but below the slide, I'm going to tap and let go. And then you see paste pop up. Please be patient. You might not get it to say paste right away, but if you tap enough times, eventually you'll see this paste. I'm going to hit the paste, and now look, I've got my picture. But one small problem, the picture's too big. So if you remember from last rotation, we talked about how to resize these pictures, but the quick review is I pick one of those blue squares that's in the corner. So if I would pick the one in the upper left corner, then I'm going to want to drag towards the lower right corner, and that will kind of start shrinking my photo, okay? And there it is. Now, if I want to move it, I choose anywhere in the photo, but not the blue boxes, and then it'll let me freely choose. Remember these red lines? If I see a red line going straight up and down, that means I found the horizontal center. And if I start sliding this up, this means I found the vertical center. So if I actually want my picture to be exactly in the middle, up and down and side to side, I'd wait till I get both of these lines together and I let go, and there it is. Okay. Now I do need to put a caption here. So to put a caption, I actually could use this box here, but I'm going to have to delete all this stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and delete all this and say something like, this is a yellow, puppy lab, exclamation point. There we go. Now, one thing you might notice, this is minor, but the box is larger than my text, and I know I'm not going to write anything else. So if I want to, if you see there's 3 squares on the right, I'm going to pick that middle blue square, tap it, and then just bring my size of my box a little bit smaller. And then I'm going to tap, just like the picture, somewhere inside the square to help me move it. And again, I could use those red lines as a guideline on centering. And now I've got a caption and a picture right there. So it says, my favorite dog is the lab. Okay. Then the next following slide is pretty much the same thing. Here, you're just going to talk about, your first picture. In my case, it'll be my first picture of a lab. And then I'll do the same thing, put a picture and a caption. Same thing with my second photo, third photo, fourth photo, fifth photo. And then if you look at the very last slide here, it says, before you finish, please do the following. Choose a theme. If you don't remember how to do a theme, look in the upper right corner. There's 3 dots. If I click those 3 dots, tap those 3 dots, after Q&A history, it says change theme. And that's where you can go in there and change it to simple dark or momentum or Swiss. I'll just change it to Swiss because it looks kind of cool there. And it looks like it only did it for the 1 slide. So you're going to have to go and apply them to all. There should be an easy way to do it. Otherwise, one thing you could just do it for each of the slides if you have to. Then it says center your photos, arrange, center on page horizontally. If you can follow what I did in this slide here, where you move your picture to the middle and you move your text, then you're pretty much doing the same thing. So if you've done that, you could skip that second part. Same thing with the third one. It says center your text below or above. So if you did it here, where you put this is a yellow puppy lab, then you've taken care of that requirement. Then it says add a final slide. You can put the end or any questions, okay? And remember, this slide you delete because these are instruction slides. So remember, if I want to put a the end slide, I hit this bottom left corner, the little slide with the plus symbol in the lower left. I click that, and I'm going to add, I guess, this section header one looks good. I'll just put the end right there in the middle, and then I'll say the end, exclamation point. Oops, that's a comma. There we go. So at this point, if you want to review your slide, in the upper right corner, you see that triangle next to those curvy arrows. There's a triangle pointing to the right. If I click on that, I could say present on this device. And then you can do a little presentation. You can even show your parents, except you probably want to hit that plus sign at the very first slide. And then you could basically scroll through by tapping and dragging your finger across. Okay? So that is the project. Please let me know if you have any questions, and good luck and have fun.